Okay, we're going to talk about the Colorado Post standards for firearms training, their qualification. And the reason why we're talking about this is because it came to my attention from one of my followers that the Post standard is 100% firearms qualification. However, the target is huge. And so I did a little bit of research, didn't take me much, just put in Colorado Post training standards for firearms in Google, and I found it pretty quickly. So we're going to talk about that right now. I'm a stickler on being very familiar with your firearm, being able to hit whatever target you're shooting at on my ranges. Okay. Now that also depends on who you are, how much training you've had. There's obviously different levels of this game. For example, a brand new shooter, I don't expect them to hit anything past 3 yards. I just don't expect it. In fact, I don't even expect them to hit anything past 1 yard. However, we start where they aren't really hitting anything, and we improve them. That's what we do at TAC. We improve them from hitting almost nothing, sometimes nothing, literally, to hitting an inch dot at 4 yards. Sometimes we take them from 4 yards to 7 yards and they're hitting an inch dot. Sometimes we'll take them from 4 yards to 25 yards and they hit 8-inch dots. So that's what I'm talking about, right? It just depends on the level of the game. However, for law enforcement officers, they should be held to a high standard of accuracy and marksmanship. In my personal belief, the post standard for Colorado is not in any way, shape, or form high standard. All of my students that I've ever had can pass the firearms course from the Colorado Post standards with ease. And we're going to go through that. So let's go ahead and pull up the standards real quick and we'll just read it. Okay, you can follow along with me. All right, guys, you can see up here at the top it says postcolorado.gov. You can see this is, I guess, this is paragraph 10. A handgun qualification course is going to be 1 hour. Now, this is just a qualification, of course. I'm sure they do more training before their qualification. All right, but this is a minimum of 1 hour. Their goal here is the student will qualify with a handgun at a range using the post-approved course. The student will pass the post-approved handgun qualification course as the learning objective. When I show you this standard that they have, the post-approved handgun qualification course is not something that I would recommend. Well, let me take that back. If you're a brand new shooter and you just want to hit, a man-sized target, fine, whatever. This shouldn't be the standard that you're shooting for, pun intended. This should be the standard. This should be the very, very basic beginning standard. Maybe not, because I'm pretty sure that anybody that comes to the TAC courses can pass the standard with ease. Okay. So let's just go through it real quick. Okay. The student's going to be allowed a maximum of 4 formal attempts. I'm sure they do this because, well, one, if you do the training and you don't pass this course on the first formal attempt, maybe you shouldn't be a law enforcement officer. Just saying. But obviously, they're hurting for bodies. There's about 800 Colorado Springs police officers, and then you have to balance, life, leave, sickness, possibly even death. You have to balance their mental state because maybe they saw some things that a human shouldn't see, such as child violence, sexual violence on children or women or something of that nature. Maybe some brutality, right? So there's a lot of things that police officers go for. So this is by no means a ding on any of our police officers in the force. I respect the hell out of them for what they do, and I encourage them to continue doing it. And that I think more highly of police officers, than this course gives those police officers, right? So I think their standard of training should be a whole lot better than what this is saying. That's the whole point of this video. Anyway, so let's continue. Okay, a formal attempt on the handgun qualification course is announced before the qualification. I guess you can just, can practice, and then once it's announced as formal, then I guess that qualifies as the formal attempt. The remediation process for failed formal attempts are as followed. First failure, the number of hours of remediation between the first and second formal attempts is at the discretion of the lead instructor academy director. The second failure, there will be a minimum of 4 hours of remediation between the second and third formal attempts. Interesting. The third failure, the number of hours of remediation between the third and fourth formal attempts is at the discretion of the lead instructor, academy, and director. The failure of the fourth formal attempt will require the student to successfully complete the entire firearms training program at the post-approved basic or reserve academy. So basically, they recycle is what I'm seeing here, right? If they can't pass the qualification course, then they recycle all the way back to the beginning and they redo the whole course again. The remediation curriculum will be left to the discretion of the academy director and lead firearms instructor for the affected academy. Okay, so there's just the outline of the remediation process, okay? So the target for formal qualification attempts will be the Colorado Post target. The target has no scoring rings, and a dotted line designates a head area. The target depicts a handgun pointing directly at the shooter attempting the qualification course. This qualification course is a pass-fail course, and all rounds must be fired and must be in the silhouette to pass. All rounds must be full caliber hit to pass. So what that means is that it has to be a full hole. It can't be just like half a hole, for example. So if there's a line that separates that hole, then it doesn't count, okay? The stipulated headshot must be in the head above the chin line of the target. Failure to accurately place a headshot in the head will result in a does not qualify, or DNQ. When I show you the distance that you have to make a headshot, it's pretty ridiculous. Okay, so any rounds not accounted for on the target will also count, and it does not qualify. All right. Okay, general. The course must be fired in the given order. All rounds must be fired exactly as described and within the time parameters for each stage. Failure to fire all 25 rounds as described will result in a does not qualify. Verbal challenges are optional. Verbiage and usage are at the academy agency's discretion. For the purpose of this qualification course, the standby position, meaning that the next command will likely be the stimulus to fire, will be at the interview position or a position of readiness taught by the academy. So whatever that is, by the academy. When starting a stage with the pistol in the holster, the pistol must be fully secure and all active retention devices straps must be secured unless otherwise prescribed by the instructor. For the purpose of this qualification course, ready is defined as the muzzle of the weapon depressed below the point of aim with the trigger finger outside of the trigger guard and indexed along the side of the slider frame. For the purposes of this qualification course, cover is defined by the facilities available at the range and according to the instructions of the instructor, but must use an actual barricade, barrel, or object. For the purpose of this qualification course, cuffing may be done with actual handcuffs or with similar size objects. For the purpose of this qualification course, headshot is defined as head above the chin line and must be a full caliber hit, which we talked about already. For the purpose of this qualification course, the flashlight in Stage 4 must be handheld and will be in addition to a pistol-mounted light. The student must use an acceptable handheld flashlight method for qualification as taught in the firearms program. Ammunition management is the shooter's responsibility. If there is an issue with the firearm or ammunition that is out of the shooter's control, they will receive an alibi. An alibi will only be given if the shooter attempts to perform the proper malfunction clearance and the instructor can confirm the issue. If the issue is confirmed, the shooter will have an opportunity to perform the stage again in its entirety. In the event the shooter cannot complete the qualification, it will not count as an official attempt. There's some rules laid out for the course. Pretty standard stuff, right? Now we're going to get into the actual qualification. Okay? So it's 25 rounds. 24 of those rounds are in the body. And then one of those rounds are in the head. Let's go ahead and look at this target real quick. I don't know exactly what the target is. I just looked up, Colorado P.O.S.T approved target. And this is what came up. This thing right here. I don't know what the size is. I imagine this is probably about 18 inches wide by 24 inches tall. Let's see if it has it here. There it is. The size, 23 inches wide by 35 inches tall. 23. You're looking at this piece of paper, this entire piece of paper is 24, almost 2 feet, 23 inches, almost 2 feet wide by, what was it? Let me look at this real quick. 36 inches, 35 inches tall. So almost 3 feet tall. And you can see most of the paper is covered by this object, this outline with a gun pointing right at you. It's pretty ridiculous. So who knows what this size is? But this is your target. Sorry, I'm sorry. This is the qualification that our police officers here in Colorado have to do in order to pass the P.O.S.T standards. It's child's play. It's absolutely child's play. Wow. So anyway, it's funny, not funny. Anyway, so here we go. So here is the order of fire. Okay, so stage 1, 3-yard line, pretty standard. 2 of the body, 4 second time. So you have to. It looks like you have to draw from the holster and then take 1 step right, shooting 2 to the body, and then also taking 1 step left, 2 in the body. No big deal. Okay. Then we go back to 7-yard line. 3 to the body, 5 second. Standing, gun out, fire while advancing to the 3-yard line. So you get to move 4 yards while shooting 3 to the body. All right. The 1-yard line, 2 to the body, 4 seconds, standing holstered, cuffs in the dominant hand. So I guess you'll have cuffs in your dominant hand. I don't know what they're calling dominant hand, right? I have my hand. My right hand is my strong hand, or I would call it my dominant hand. If anything, I don't want any cuffs in this hand. I don't want anything in this hand because that's what I would draw with. But whatever they do, I don't know. So standing holstered cuffs in the dominant hand. So imagine me for my right hand, okay? Going like this, okay? And draw and fire while backing up. Okay, so I don't know if that means take a couple of steps or if you're like, moving 5 yards, or I don't know what it is. I don't teach moving rearward without looking rearward. Maybe take a step or 2 back, but after that, like I don't teach that. I think it's a dumb practice. The next one, 4-yard line, to the body, standing gun out, flashlight in hand, and then to the body, 3 seconds, standing gun out, 1 hand, strong hand only. So no big deal there. All right. Gun's already out, so you're not drawing. And I would think all these should be a draw. That's my personal opinion, because typically speaking, it's going to be in your holster unless you have a reason to pull it. So I would think that all these should be from the drawing position. But let's continue. 7-yard line to the body, 6 seconds. Okay, failure to fire. So empty chamber, loaded magazine, standing, holstered, 1 step right while clearing. So they're saying you're going to get a click instead of a boom, slap. It's probably slap rack pull. I don't know what they teach in the academy, but slap rack pull and then get back on target while moving right or left 1 step. Okay, great. Then 10-yard line to the body. Why does it say to the body? 1 of the body. Let's see. Combat reload. Okay, loaded chamber, 1 in the magazine. Fire 2 rounds, and then take 1 step right, left while reloading. Okay, so they're talking about, obviously it says combat reload right there. You're going to shoot. You're going to put 1 in the chamber. 1's going to be in the magazine. You're going to shoot 1, 2. It's going to have a slide lock reload. You're going to drop your magazine, grab your next magazine, load, and then fire one round. So 3 rounds total in the body. Then 15-yard line to the body, 15 seconds. Failure to extract by standing the gun on target, 1 step left while clearing, or move to a covered position, or standing or kneeling position while clearing. Well, they're saying failure to extract. I don't know if they mean extract or if they mean eject. Because there's 2 different things, right? Extract is pulling the empty cartridge or full cartridge out from the chamber, and the eject is literally ejecting it from the firearm altogether. So failure to extract, I would imagine, is another slap rack pull. So failure to actually extract the empty cartridge from the chamber means that there's an empty cartridge in there and you would get a click on your next shot. So it'd just be like having an empty chamber. Now, failure to eject, what they would be talking about would be a stovepipe, which means the cartridge gets stuck in between the breech of the barrel and the slide, right, or the slide face. And then in that case, you just kind of run your hand over it. Maybe I'll do a video on a range one day, but you run the hand over it, and typically speaking, that clears the fire, that clears the malfunction, and you can continue firing. So whatever it is, it's 15 seconds, standing, gun on target, 1 step left or right while clearing. So that's that. 25-yard line, 2 to the body. Okay. Now, for a lot of people, this might be the hardest portion to the body from 25 yards, especially if you have a big problem anticipating. Okay, if you're anticipating, let's say you're at 4 yards and you're hitting just below a 1-inch dot. Let's say just below it, but you're consistently doing it. You're probably consistently anticipating. Well, when you move back to 25 yards, that's going to get bigger, the anticipation. So you could potentially miss the entire body from 25 yards just from anticipation, or healing or anything of that nature. So this could be a potential thing, but it's on the instructors to make these people, these police officers or potential police officers, better marksmen than this P.O.S.T standard. So every police officer should pass this qualification with their eyes closed. Honestly, they should. I don't know what the training is like in the P.O.S.T Academy. Maybe I'll find out one day. Okay, so then the last one, and this is what's comical. 1 yard line. 1 yard. Okay, so that's as long as, if I hold out my hand here, the tip of my finger to the middle of my head. That's how far you're away from this target. Okay, that's approximately 1 yard, right? So maybe a little bit longer, maybe from this side of my head to the tip of my finger, but you get the point. So that's about 1 yard. So from 1 yard, you have to hit 2 to the body and 1 to the head. if any if any police officers are watching this, please God, tell me you can pass this with flying colors. It's pretty ridiculous. I think Post should obviously up their standards, and when they do up their standards, they'll up their instructor standard. Oh well. Anyway, so there we go. Total number of shots in the body, 24, one in the head, and then for a total of 25. Required on the silhouette, 25. So I bring this up because there's a couple different reasons. One, the Colorado concealed handgun training, you have to score a certain percentage. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's 70 or 75% at the range, okay, in accordance with the instructor. What does that mean exactly? At least this Post standard, at least it's some kind of standard, as low as it is they're setting the bar really low. But what's the actual standard here? Not that I want the Colorado General Assembly to tell me how to train my students or my customers, but this other law, SB 3 in the Senate, you can see my other video here. This other law is saying that in order to pass a basic firearms course or an extended firearms course, or however they word it, you have to pass 90% in the written exam. Now, that's a written exam. They're not talking about on the range or anything like that, but 90%, that seems quite high to me. You can be, and I said it in my video, you can get a college degree with a 60%. Why does our citizens need to pass a written exam at 90% in order to exercise their Second Amendment right with commonly used firearms that are not unusual, obviously, because they're common? And all firearms are dangerous. I mean, 100%. Every single firearm out there is dangerous. But in accordance with the Supreme Court, it has to be dangerous and unusual in order for the government to kind of ban it or do anything of that nature. So that's why I brought this up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this quick video here. I'll see you next time. Tech out.